This podcast is Entel enhanced. To see pictures, articles and links of what's being discussed, download the Entel app.
Hello, welcome to the BiG Scuba Show.
Hello, my name's Matt and I'm a diver and I've been diving for 7 years, and I'm here to talk to Ian and Gemma.
So here we are once again.
Welcome back to the BiG Scuba Podcast. We are your hosts, Gemma and Ian. Before we get cracking with today's episode, we just want to make sure you have hit that follow button or the subscribe button, depending on what platform you are listening on. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts and you enjoy what you're going to hear today, we would really appreciate it if you can leave a review and a 5-star rating. So now that's out of the way, we just want to say welcome and thank you for all tuning in, and now it's time to dive into today's episode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the BiG Scuba Podcast. Thanks again for downloading this episode. My name's Ian. I'm your dive master and co-host of this podcast. And with me is...
Hello, my name's Gemma. I'm the other co-host. And thank you for downloading this episode.
Yep, it's another week, another episode. 136, Gemma?
It is 136 episode. And we're not even... we're 3 years old in February.
Wow. So we've got a few months as yet before that big day. So we have got a guest for you. We like to come to you with bringing somebody from the diving and watery world. So this one is a guy who I've known for a few years. You've come to know the last couple of years. He's a diver. He's from Norwich, and he's started diving abroad and then really took up his diving at Crystal Seas and in Norwich.
Loves it, yes.
Loves it, loves being underwater. And I swear, I think he's got gills, I'm sure. And, he's kind of built up his diving and he's moved on from just being an open water diver, then into side mount, and now he's a rebreather diver.
Yeah, and he's ventured into the cave world as well. So
he has, yeah.
Ultimately, he does want to be a cave diver.
And who knew there was caves in Norfolk?
Yeah, we've done a mine, hasn't he?
We jest, but there is. There's tin mines. There's Grimes graves.
Yeah.
Big famous cave system. Go back to prehistoric times. A little bit of history there for you, Gemma.
In Norfolk, yes.
In Norfolk, all happens in Bungay, and I mean in Norfolk.
Yeah, that's Suffolk too, East Anglia.
Yeah. So what we've got coming up, we're going to have a chat about what we've been up to. We have a little chat about Avatar, because Avatar's the film of the moment, and that comes out this week. Do we mention the football? Oh, no. Hurrah! Oh no, they lost, didn't they? No. Damn.
That's gone, been and done, hasn't it?
Ooh, they lost. Oh well.
Anyway, move on.
Got to be in it to win it.
Yes, we're a diving podcast, not a football podcast.
Well, yeah, I know, but everyone would have been watching it and cheering them on. So, commiserations. There's always another competition in 4 years' time.
Exactly.
They can do it. Time to bring it home.
Yes, yeah. So, what else? We've been on paddleboards.
Yeah, that was good fun. So we have if you haven't seen our recent social media, why not? We've teamed up with a paddleboarding company who do some really snazzy, really smart paddleboards as well, and recycled.
Yeah, they've got a good sustainable ethic to them, and we interviewed Will Marsh on our previous podcast, episode 135.
Yes.
So, and he went through all about it. But yeah, we got actually on the water and gave him a little trial.
Yeah. We didn't go too far, did we? Because didn't have a huge amount of time on Saturday.
No.
And but yeah, it was good to get out, and it's dark now here at 3, and so it's good to get it. We got out and give them a trial run, but we shall be using them over the course of the coming weeks. And
yes. Well, even today, it's an amazing day in the UK when we're recording this. It's -4, but
Yeah.
lucky and sunny. It's very white outside with frost. So-
It is. Yeah. So we hope you're keeping warm if you listen to this. Maybe you'd be listening to this and it's June. They'll be like thinking, what's going on? This is the beauty of the downloads. You can listen to them anytime. Can't you?
Yeah, but that's our little timeline as we speak. So
Yeah.
we've also had this past week a meeting with Ford.
Yeah, had a really good chat with those guys, and it's always good to meet them. And we've met the new sustainability manager as well, haven't we?
Yeah, that was really good. So Michelle told us all about the new initiatives coming up, so we'll be able to share that later, early part of next year, January.
Yeah, and one of the things we said was, why don't you shout more about all this? You know, they are doing so much good stuff, and they probably see it as like, well, it's just business as usual. But as a customer's point of view, you really want to know about this stuff. It's like, wow, you know, who knew that they recycle all, you know, their water and things like that?
Yeah, they're incredibly
Their
forward-thinking.
factories.
Yeah, zero landfill, all that kind of stuff. It's just amazing, all the different things and boxes they can tick. So
yeah, so they're coming on. That'll be probably about late January by the time that we get to release that. And we're going to be talking to them about, you know, sustainable driving, sustainable, you know, things about cars and what have you, you know, because we need these cars when we go diving.
Yes, yeah, and we'll, at the time we record the podcast, we'll be running around in a transit, but pure electric transit
van, you know. How cool is that? You know, so we're going to be using that for a week we'll create some media with it, do some things with it, and put it to some tests, can't we?
Yeah, looking forward to that. So that will be.
I was going to say it can be a white van man, but I'm already a white van man. I've already got one, not electric one, but I've got a diesel transit.
Yeah. So, what else have we done? We've had a get together with Crystal Seas at the annual Christmas party last Saturday.
Yeah, hello to everyone who went.
Great evening.
Yeah, and both Sean's were there clearing up with their winnings in the raffle. Yeah,
and I met people that I've never met, but obviously follow on Facebook. So it was really nice to actually.
And who listen?
Yes, yeah, and actually have people come up to me and say, "You're Gemma," and I'm thinking I've got no idea who you are. But yeah, fans of the podcast. So that was good. So thank you to Polly and Chris for organising a nice evening.
Absolutely, yeah, it's always good fun, and it's one of the few times I actually get to dress up during the year to go out.
Your shoes hurt, and yeah,
I know.
Back to reality.
I'm just comfortable in a shirt and shorts, really, a t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah,
you know, that's me.
Yeah.
But there you go.
That's how we roll.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a CrossFit competition yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
Really good. Yeah. Now I do know of a few other divers who like CrossFit. One of them being Tom at 03, is a keen CrossFitter. So hello to Tom. And it's only sort of within the gym itself. It wasn't.
Yeah, it did members, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good turnout, and there was something like 10 teams, I think there was, and we had a really good time. You know, so. Everybody got involved, and the great thing, if you ever think about, gym, because it's coming to the end of the year. What do people a lot of people make resolutions, don't they?
To the next year, yes.
Yeah, and about losing weight and fitness and things like that. And if you've never tried CrossFit, I would recommend it, because most CrossFits operate a free first thing.
But it's good to have a trial,
and you can go and give it a test and see whether you like it. It's not for everyone. I get that.
And there are other exercise forms out there.
Never are, but it's worth going to give it a go. And if you've never done it, and there's CrossFit gyms in your area, and they are a great place to go learn new things, and also usually great community spirit with them as well.
Yeah, and from a diving point of view, it's an excellent way, because we always say it's great to have your dive fitness. You've got to carry heavy weights and, just be generally pretty fit. So
Yeah.
CrossFit or joining a gym is a great way to.
There's when I look at our CrossFit gym, but you've also got people who have never done any fitness at all, but they just want to get fitter.
Yeah, and that's
the whole range of people that you've got.
Yeah, that's a good place to start. So if you're thinking about your New Year's resolutions, then maybe add something to like CrossFit or just joining a gym and just giving it a go, because you never know till you try. Yeah.
So that's that. Paddleboarding. You've been walking, haven't you?
Yeah, I did a hike yesterday again, 15k. So just another thing, just to get outside and not stay indoors after a week looking at a laptop. So again, that's a decent way to just get your body moving and get outside and see the fresh air. And a couple of weeks ago, I did another one, and that was 11k, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's really important, especially this time of year, because if some people don't particularly like diving during the winter months, but it's important not to let your fitness
exactly and
lapse.
Mental health as well. So yeah, it might be a little bit chilly to go diving, but still get outside, wrap up, get the layers on, and you always feel better after you've done something.
Even I would even recommend as well, like getting out on the water, paddleboarding, kayaking, because if you can find a river, all right, the sea might be a bit too rough, and certainly will be, probably a bit breezy, and but the rivers are going to be sheltered.
Yes,
and if you can find a nice quiet river stretch on a beautiful sunny day on a crisp winter's morning, beautiful place to be.
Yeah. So if you're a keen paddleboarder, kayaker, hiker, CrossFitter, make contact with us and tell us how you keep yourself fit, especially
over the winter months. Yeah. Also, it's a good time to be thinking about, right, I'm not going to be diving for a couple of months. Maybe I need to send my dry suit off to get serviced. Now is a good time. Get your regulators in, get your dry suit in, anything, needs a service, BCD as well. Christmas is coming, maybe a good time to think about thermals, maybe think about, good time to get a new mask, maybe new set of fins.
So definitely have a look at your kit and do a bit of an inventory and see what you need or what you can get rid of or replace.
But there you've had it from Gemma. Every day you must look at your kit.
Yes.
Inspect your kit.
Yes, give it a once over.
Yeah, there we go.
Anyway, right, moving on. Lower the tone.
You said it, not me. We should also mention, before we get Matt on, we've got our regular update from Ben should be on our next episode.
Yeah, that would be great. So Ben is based in Ilfracombe. He's a skipper of a boat, and he takes divers out during the season, and then he becomes a fisherman and general charter skipper.
Yeah, so he normally takes people out to Lundy Island, don't he, for scuba diving all through the summer, from about April right through till sort of about November time, and but when he's not doing that, he's a fisherman. Is one of the youngest coxswains of the RNLI.
He is, yeah. So he always brings a lot of information to the podcast, and I think hopefully he'll bring his crew member Sam on.
Sam the cabin boy.
Yes.
Not Roger.
Oh God. I don't really go down that route.
But yeah, and if you're not following Ben at the moment, again, he's another one really good to follow on social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, because his stories and reels are always usually quite funny. So look out for hi ho charters.
Yeah. So hopefully he'll be coming on, and then we've just got to mention this. So the podcast is coming out Monday, the 12th of December, and the Avatar film is coming out on the 16th.
Yes.
And we've spoken to Kirk Crock, who came and spoke to us on August 2021, episode 55, and he had an involvement in the film, training people to free dive and breath hold. The likes of Kate Winslet, I think she got up to 7 minutes.
7.5. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
something like 7.5 minutes. I think
Yeah.
it was.
So we'll be obviously re-releasing that episode in line with the release of the film. And the film is called The Way of the Water.
Yeah, it's the way of the water, and they recorded 2 films at the same time. So this is the second film, because the first film came out a few years ago, which is awesome. It's one of the first 3D films to come out, and so if you haven't seen the second one, which comes out this Friday, go watch the first one, because otherwise you'll be like, what's all this about? So you need to see the first one to then understand the second. And James Cameron, who's famous for Terminator, what else has he done? He's done no, not Space Odyssey, but he's done loads of big films. He's very famous for having meaning to his films. So this is all about, we've had one about land, this one's about the water. Don't know what the third one's about so much, but it's all there'll be a message about it, I'm sure, about protecting the oceans.
Yeah, it fits in very well with the environmental protection. And I think James Cameron is a scuba diver as well, isn't he?
He is. Yeah. One of our previous guests told us, Jill Hyneth, told us about a dive that she had with Jim. So it was pretty awesome, I would say. Yeah. So look out for that one, and check out our social media. We have got an update from Kirk as well. He very kindly sent us a little update to add to that podcast. So it's still relevant, and you'll get to hear about how he taught these people how to dive. Yeah. So that will be our episode 137, which will be a bonus episode. So but I think that's kind of summed up what we've done over the last couple of weeks. So we'll have a little chat with Matt Rivett, who's obviously one of our local divers, and about his journey into scuba diving. Yeah, he is. So let's do that. Yep. So this is Matt Rivett. Right, are you sitting comfortably? Because let's begin. Welcome to the BiG Scuba Podcast, Matt. Matt Rivett. Now, you're somebody we've been wanting to speak to for a while, because I think I was probably on your open water, maybe, or certainly early on in your dive, when I was really early on in my own diving, and a Norwich diver, Norwich guy. Supported Norwich City Football Club, so there's a lot of commonalities. Football, but so let's start at the beginning. It's always a good place to start. What does diving mean to you, Matt?
Well, diving means to me, I love diving. I first started in 2013 in Lanzarote, and come across the dive centre just by accident, really. I was supposed to be over there to meet a friend, but he flew back the day before I was supposed to fly over. So I was there by myself, walking along the beach, and found the dive centre and decided to go diving. And done my open water class over in Lanzarote, and then come back. And from there, I went to Crystal Seas, obviously, our local dive shop.
Yeah.
And the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah. So how did your introduction to scuba diving in Lanzarote go, and your first time underwater? Was it amazing experience? Did you know straight away?
Well, it was so yeah, I enjoyed it. There wasn't really a lot to see in Lanzarote in terms of fish and stuff, but it was the first time being underwater, so I enjoyed it. My instructor actually hated me.
That's a bit.
We had a bit of because she was German, so there was a bit of a big language barrier, and towards the end of the course, she decided to do like a selfie with me. There was me and another guy on the course.
Yeah.
She'd done a selfie underwater with us three. And I went to put my hand around her and accidentally put my hand on her boob. And then I panicked. And instead of moving it away, I didn't know what to do. So I just left it. So that made her even more angry. But she still passed me. So
Well, there you go. That's a nugget.
I still passed.
That's the main thing.
Yeah. So, well, it made it memorable, didn't it? So
Yeah.
These things happen. And so you then went from there to diving at Crystal Seas.
Yep.
With the Crystal Seas. So you did your advance with Crystal Seas?
Yeah, I did my advance with Crystal Seas and the dry suit at the same time.
So roughly when would that have been?
Oh, that was probably the year after 2014, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So that was roughly when I started.
Cool. Yeah, it wasn't long after I'd done my open water. I know that.
Yeah.
Because I come back here and want to go dive, and obviously you can't until you've done your dry suit. You can't really dive in the UK.
No.
In most places, anyway.
Yeah. So once you joined Crystal Seas, then you did your advanced, and then you just got straight in diving. Yeah,
I did my advanced. I did quite a few sort of pleasure dives. And I think I did a few specialities, paddy specialities. And then eventually I done side mount. I did my side mount course in 2017.
Yeah.
With Barry and Sam from Crystal Seas.
What made you go into doing side mount?
Well, actually, before that, I did my twin set course with Chris.
Okay.
And I was carrying a twin set around, up and down Stony Cove.
Yeah.
It's not very nice. It was basically too heavy, so I just and when I was diving that for about a year, and another guy that I was diving with was diving side mount, and he said to me, have a go with side mount. So I didn't do a try dive first. I did actually go straight to the course and do the side mount course. And I loved it from day one. It puts you straight in perfect trim. You got all that extra redundancy, which you would have on like twin set anyway, but that's even better with side mount. And the main thing obviously was that I didn't have to carry two tanks down to the water at once at the same time. I get to carry them one by one, which I loved. And you could put them on the water.
Wasn't because we buddied up at NDAC, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I believe I was on twin set, and I think you was on twin set as well.
Yeah, I think we both were. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right about the weight. With two sets of 12s. You're lugging it onto when NDAC was open. For anyone who didn't know, has not been there when it was open. You used to get the minibus in inverted commas. What was left of the minibus to take you up the hill. And then you'd get to the bottom of the hill. Hopefully the brakes would work, and you'd hop off, and you then get your gear again. And it was quite a haul with your twin sets, wasn't it? So it's something I think is a good move to move from the twin sets to, and hearing someone like Steve Davis talk about the benefits of side mounts.
Yeah.
Is certainly worth a consideration for anyone who's not gone down there.
Absolutely. You should try it, Ian.
I probably will at some stage. Yeah, I probably will. I keep thinking about next year, about what to do for my own diving next year.
Yeah.
It's like, do I go down the instructor route? Do I go more technical side, learn? Because I would like to move my diving on a bit. But I've also got Honey starting next year as well, so I want to make sure that she's geared up and she finds the open water, because the end she'll be only 13 when she do her open water next year, so I want to make sure that she's still that she's got the best chance of getting through that. So I'll probably wait to see how that goes.
Get it through.
Well, it's something to consider, isn't it? So how long did you dive on side mount?
Since 2017, I've
Yeah, so
always dived side mount. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never went back. Never ever.
No, well, that's good that you're a real advocate of the side mount. Yeah. So, in terms of your diving, whereabouts what experience have you had of diving? We know you've been to Scapa Flow, but have you been diving abroad? Or?
Yeah, I've been to Egypt twice. Been to Malta, Lanzarote. I'm trying to think where else I've been.
Have you got pictures up all around your wall?
Yeah.
Good. I can see you got your diving certificates behind you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real diver.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So more recently, you went to Scapa this year, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely love Scapa Flow. That was incredible. The size of I expected them to be big wrecks, but when they actually got down there and you got to the bottom of the shot line and you see this massive wreck, it was just incredible. And the size of the guns were like little houses. That was just absolutely incredible. Yeah. And we were on Emily's boat, and Emily was incredible as well. She made us all really nice, hot chocolate. You might have seen the picture on Facebook. That was lovely. And all her dive briefings were brilliant. It's just like incredible. She's so much knowledge. She's got so much knowledge.
Yeah.
On all the wrecks and diving. Yeah. It's just brilliant. I can't recommend her enough.
Do you remember during the lockdown, Emily did some presentations on some 3D scans on some of the wrecks?
Yeah.
And, went to some of them. Absolutely brilliant. Her knowledge and understanding of some of the wrecks.
Absolutely.
And, I hope to get up there at some stage. And
well, they're going again in 2024, aren't they? Crystal Seeker. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Right. Get your name down.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind actually. It's definitely on one of my lists to do. To experience, because it's hard to work out the size of some of these things. And I've seen guns like outside the War Museum in London. They got a couple off a dreadnought battleship. So it'd be awesome to see him in the water. That's some of its history. Which wreck really shone out to you the most?
My favourite one was probably the Margraf. I can't remember the name of it now. I think it's a Margraf.
Why?
We did a dive called the Gun Run.
Okay.
Where you drop down to about 40, 45, I think it was, and just swim along the side of the wreck, and just you see all the guns along the side of the wreck. They're almost like in fairly good condition.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had good viz, but it wasn't brilliant. It wasn't like the best, but it was good.
Yeah.
So from what I hear, they have absolutely excellent viz down there sometimes. So I'm hoping next time I go, because I'm going to go back again in 2024 with Crystal Seas, and I'm hoping that there's going to be a lot better viz next time.
Yeah. So obviously that's the kind of wreck side of things, but you've also ventured into caves. Is that right?
I've done the mine. Yeah, I've done limited mine at the moment. I want to progress on that, but I'm sort of at a bit of a T-junction with that, because because I've just qualified on my rebreather. I don't know if I want to wait until I've got enough hours on that and experience on that before I go into the caves, or if I do the cave course first on open circuit and the rebreather separately, and then once I'm comfy with both, I can combine them, which is probably what I'm going to do. I was talking to someone earlier today, and they were saying the best thing to do is to do my intro to the cave on open circuit, keep up with the skills on my rebreather as well, but do a year or two diving caves and mines on open circuit, so all them skills are sort of plumbed into your head before you add a rebreather on top of that, and which makes a lot of sense. So that's probably what I am going to do, to be honest. I love. I'm always watching videos on YouTube of caves and mines. There's an awesome cave in Mexico called the Hell's Bells, and all the formations are like in the shape of a bell.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it looks absolutely incredible, and you can like swim in between. That is like a dream dive for me. That is.
So was that just a natural progression, thinking, so you obviously doing like open water, and then you think, oh, I want to go into some kind of mine, or
I've always been interested in the caves, like the cave diving, but I never actually thought I'd ever get there, to be honest. I mean, I've still got to do, like, I'm only limited mind, so I'm only limited on what I can do at the moment, but hopefully I'll get to like intro to cave or even full cave, do the proper caves. But yeah, they're just it's like just all the pretty colors and formations, just like incredible.
Yeah,
definitely
and good
something I want to do.
visibility, I suppose.
The visibility, like the mine we dive, it's only about 5-6 meters at the most deep, and the visibility is always absolutely crystal clear visibility. And it's just really good fun to dive. The only bad thing about it is like it's about 15-minute walk from the car park to the edge of the water. So carrying kit there takes like about an hour or two, because you have to keep going back and forth. But apart from that, it is good fun. I love it.
Yeah,
that sounds it.
Yeah. So you did your courses in the UK for the mine. Yeah. It just shows, what's available in the UK.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Is it the learning that you like? Is it you keep advancing? Is that what you like about it?
I just but also it's just like, I want to be a cave diver, so I need to do this step to do this step, and then to get to this step, sort of thing. It's like, it's sort of hurdles basically.
So what do your friends and family think of you being a diver and wanting to like progress into cave?
First when I done my mine course, I didn't tell my mum what I was doing. I just told her I was going diving, and then she saw the pictures on Facebook. she phoned me up. She phoned me up when I was in the hotel, and she's like, "Are you okay? I didn't know you were going to do a mine course."
Well, mums always worry, don't they? So.
But no, she's fine with it now. I explained to her it's perfectly safe, and we've got procedures and all that. And I always ring her before I go into the mine and let her know what time we're going to be out.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, no, that's great. And, hopefully, it might inspire some more people to, extend their diving or expand their skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You dive on the KISS rebreather, don't you?
Yeah. KISS Sidewinder.
Yeah. So what made you go for that one?
Mainly because it was side mount. I know I've always been side mount, and it's very simple because it's literally my side mount kit, how it is normally on open circuit, and then that rebreather just sits over top of it. So the two canisters sit on top of my two tanks. My loop is obviously it's my same harness I use for open circuit.
Yeah.
My loop is just connected to my canisters, and then my counter lung sits behind that. So, and the good thing about it is, if I did ever have any problems with it, like even if say I was at Stony Cove and I was setting the rebreather up, and for some reason I couldn't dive it that day, all I'd have to do is take the canisters off, take the lung off, and I'm on open circuit. It's my same setup, exactly the same setup.
So that surprises me, because I thought a rebreather would be completely separate to the setup of a open circuit side mount twin.
Yeah, they usually are. But that is the good thing about that one. That is another reason I decided to pick that one.
Did you speak to anyone first to get some sort of reviews and sort of feedback, or
I didn't really speak to anyone, but I did. I know you've had Steve Davis on your podcast before. I always listened to his podcast, and he's been diving it a couple of years now, I think.
Yeah.
And I listened to what he said and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've done and watched a couple of videos on YouTube as well about it all, reviews and stuff.
Yeah. Christina Sonato, that's what she dived with as well, and Kevin as well.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's obviously quite a good name. It's widely known, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that was another hurdle to go over then, to then transition to learning how to work a rebreather. And
that one was a massive hurdle. That was
it
was a week diving in Ireland. The first 2 days we were just in the classroom, and I've never been that good at like concentrating on something, like at school and stuff. I was never able to concentrate properly, so I found that more difficult than the actual skills in the water, to be honest. But yeah, then we'd had the rest of the week we were diving, and it's just like a little quarry in Ireland.
Yeah.
And all the dives were 90 minutes long, and there was loads and loads of skills crammed into this 90-minute dive. The 2 dives a day, 4 days. I was absolutely knackered it got a little bit emotional, and I was like, at one point I was like, I don't feel I can do this, but my instructor was like, you're doing the skills all right, you just need to focus on it and get it done. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So how many hours are you trying to build up to? Where's it going to be a level where you kind of at your next stage, would you say?
To be honest, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking at least sort of 100 hours really. I'm on sort of 25, 26 now, so
right.
I'm not too far. I'm not too bad, but I know I still need a lot more.
Yeah,
a lot more practice.
About 100 dives.
Well, it depends how long the dives are, but I need a lot more practice on it before I move any further on it.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to be. Not rushing it and just being comfy with how much, because that's the whole thing about diving. Just do it at your own speed and be happy. So you dived at Stony Cove at the weekend.
Yeah.
So on your rebreather.
Yeah. Yeah, I dived just to get some hours on it again. I'm up there again this weekend with Scott and that. My dive buddy Scott is rebreather instructor and diver. He's been diving for 10, 11 years. I think you both know him anyway, don't you?
Yeah. We're up there with a few of his students that he's been teaching. They're all qualified now, but we're up there, and they're sort of ocean diver, and one of them's advanced or sports diver, whatever it is, BZAC.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so once we're going to jump in with them the first dive and see how make sure they're okay and stuff. If they're okay, then we're just going to go for a long dive, rebreather dive, for the second dive, which I'm quite looking forward to. Nice long dive.
How long? When you say it's a long dive, what are we sort of talking?
Like hour and a half, 2 hours.
Wow, it's a long time.
Yeah.
Definitely going to want them thermals for that one.
Yeah.
Water temperature up there wasn't it about 12, 13 at the minute?
Yeah, that wasn't actually too bad, to be honest.
No.
Me and Craig were up there this weekend, just gone. I think the longest we were in there was about an hour, and I was fine.
Yeah.
Down 20 meters.
Yeah.
So,
and you went the far side.
Yeah. Yeah, where all the we didn't actually find the little plane over there for some reason. Normally when I go over that way, we follow the wall along. I don't know if you've ever been over that way, have you?
Once I have, and you go across to find the MGs.
Yeah. Well, usually when you get to that little bit, you usually see the plane first, and then you see the other bit. But we saw the everything else, but we just missed the plane for some reason.
Well, it's easy to do, isn't it? It's Stony Cove.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you posted that you saw the carp.
Yeah, we saw the carp on the way back.
Excellent.
Yeah, that
was brilliant.
Yeah, well, we saw it a couple of dives ago, didn't we? When
first time
that was just stunning. Yeah, you just think, what the heck is that?
Martin was telling us that they put him in about 95 they think they went
Okay.
in.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, because they grow. Well, they live to some age, don't they?
Oh, about 100 years carp will live.
Do they?
Oh yeah, yeah. If they if they're looked after and that and not fished, they will live a long life. Yeah, carp do.
Nice.
Yeah. So, what are your plans for sort of the next few months or?
Well, diving wise, I don't think we've got much planned on really. Maybe a couple of trips to Stony and stuff.
Mm.
I think we were looking into doing. There's a little mine/cave in the Peak District or Lake District.
Yeah.
Right.
One of the two, and it's called Hodge Close, which is basically like this massive pit, and about 20 to 23 meters down, there's a little cave.
Okay.
But the only problem with it is it's a altitude dive, so you go into Diga straight away, basically. So,
Wow.
but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We talked about going, but we haven't actually made any plans about going yet, so we don't know.
Have you done an altitude dive before then?
No, I haven't. No,
No, I haven't.
No.
Scott knows how to do it. He said that apparently your computer works out for you, basically, so you don't have, it's not too much of a pain.
Yeah.
No, I think there's a setting, especially if you've got shear wall. I think there's a setting, set it.
Yeah. So it's something maybe newer divers don't realise, that if you're diving, on a lake in a mountain, you've got to take into account how far above sea level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all other stuff to think about, all complications.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah. So what about any trips abroad? Have you got any kind of anything on your bucket list where you want to go?
I've got loads on my bucket list, but if I actually get there or not, I don't know. I'd love to do truck one year, truck lagoon. Obviously the caves in Mexico, the caves in Bahamas, the caves in Florida, caves in France.
Yeah, well, they're closer to home, aren't they?
There's a bit of a theme going on here, isn't there?
Yeah, but are you getting? It sounds like you're getting more swung towards the caves than wrecks. We've had so many guests on that a lot of them don't usually do both. They usually sort of fall towards one or the other.
Yeah,
we found.
Well, I mean, I do like both. I mean, I love Scabba, and like I say, I'm going to go back in 2024. I'd like to do truck as well because the wrecks there look incredible. I think Truck Lagoon would probably be even better than Scabba, to be honest, because the visibility will be a lot better.
Yeah, and
the wrecks look in better condition. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, I'd like to do that as well. To be fair, but they're like £10,000 holidays, aren't they?
Unfortunately, diving
is
not always a cheaper. Well, it is quite an expensive. It can be
expensive.
Yeah.
It's all right if you're going to Stony Cove every weekend. That's not too bad. But when you start doing proper trips, it does get a bit expensive.
Yeah, I'd say.
But
you'll be wearing that road up.
Well, Stony Cove, yeah. I am getting sick of Stony Cove, to be honest.
To try somewhere else to,
that's what we're trying to do. Yeah. The problem is we tried to book the Safe Coast a couple of times this year in the summer. And both times we booked the M2 that got blown out.
Oh, okay.
And just like the only other option really was like the mine was fully booked, so we couldn't go there. So the only other option was the Stony Cove.
Right.
Yeah, and places like Cape and Ray, that's quite a bit of a journey to get up there anyway.
Yeah. But I mean, like even like Cape and Ray, all the quarries are all just the same thing, really. Just a couple of different things in them. I want to start like venturing into like the mines and caves and wreck diving and interesting things to see underwater.
Yeah. Oh well, it sounds like you've got a lot of things planned ahead. It's and that's great because that's you can see your passion in diving. Yeah, what it means to you as well. Yeah. So for anybody thinking about diving, what is there any advice you'd give someone thinking about putting themselves underwater for the first time?
Don't think about it, just do it.
Absolutely.
No, I was like, you can always try something first. You always try something once. If you don't like it, then fair enough. But always try something once.
Yeah.
Always try something.
Yeah. No, that's really good. So is there anything that takes you out of your comfort zone? Diving.
I tell you what, the one skill I absolutely hate doing, and I've been doing it a lot recently because I hate it. I need to get it in my head and do it, and I can do it fine, but it just annoys me that I have this fear of it. The SMB, send an SMB
Really?
up.
Wow.
Because
that really surprises me after everything that you do and all the things that you have to go through.
I know. No, it's just the ones, like everyone has that skill that they just don't like doing. They can do, but they just don't like doing it.
I thought you was going to say taking your mask off or something.
No, I can do that fine. I got no problem doing that. It's just that fear of like the reels snagging up and pulling me up, or not putting enough air in it, so it doesn't. It's just always that fear in it. But I've got I spoke to Scott and he told me about the crack bottle SMBs. We have like a little bottle.
Oh yeah.
And you just open it underwater and it just fires up.
Yeah.
And that's a lot easier than the other one, the blow up SMBs but it still just fears me. I still always get that fear of just being dragged up to the surface.
The trouble is they look a simple, and then there's so many elements where you can easily get something snagged.
Drop it.
Yeah.
And I've seen instructors, well experienced instructors in the Farne Islands on dives, getting tangled in line, all sorts of things. I've seen quite a few things like that where the line's got wrapped around something which they didn't see, and there's all sorts going on, so they are. It can be problematic, definitely, but they are one of them things, as you say, to keep practicing.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing it a lot, like especially at Stony Cove. I've just been at the end of every dive, I've just been sending it up. Yeah. Sending it off. And it's been fine every time, so I don't know why I'm worried about it really, but it just eats away in my head sometimes.
Did you do the self-reliant course before you done the rebreather side things?
No, I've never done that, no.
Yeah, okay. Because I know that's meant to be quite good. We've had a few people come on and sort of recommend, kind of make you think about. I know, the tech dive and what you're doing, you've kind of moved on from that, but it's a good thing for other dives.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a good course to do.
Yeah, keep your hand in doing different courses and keep the variety there, isn't it?
Yeah,
all good.
Cool. So let's go through one of the other questions that we've got. Let's go through how many, if you could take 3 people diving with you, who would you take and why?
I've got 2 nephews, and one of them is obsessed with football, and that's all he talks about, is what he wants to do.
Really?
So I'd like to take him diving, but I don't think he ever would. But my other nephew, my youngest nephew, he absolutely loves the water. My mum and brother takes him to the swimming pool, the private swimming pool, every other Thursday. Yeah. And they have to make sure that you don't crawl in the water, because he just literally just goes for it.
Really?
He loves it. He splashes around in the water in his little ring. He absolutely loves the water. No fear at all. So yeah, I'd definitely take both of them. And I'd take Rita Ora.
Yeah, but what about taking a diving?
That's what I mean. It's because she's hot.
That's the only reason.
Oh boy.
Well, there we go. She might even be a diver. We don't know.
We'll tag her in and see what happens.
No, please don't.
Talking about music, actually, you made me think about music, and
Right.
You're a DJ. You're a drum and bass DJ, aren't you?
Sort of, yeah.
Well, tell us about that.
Well, I was DJing a long time before I was diving. I come away from DJing so I could do my diving, really. So I ended up selling my decks at home.
Oh, so you're not doing it anymore?
No, not really. I was I do a little bit now and again, but
Yeah, we've seen you on
Yeah.
Facebook and doing your lives and everything, and it's like amazing.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah. There's a studio in Norwich you can hire out. So I just go down there because
Yeah.
I ended up selling my debts a couple of years ago, so I could go on a liveaboard.
Oh, okay. Things we have to
Well,
do.
yeah, priorities and everything. So
Yeah.
because we spoke to another diver, didn't we? Jessica Mitchell.
Yeah,
And she suddenly came out that she was DJing at a festival. And we're thinking, what?
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just amazing. Yeah, what other, skills people do, or do something else to switch off from the diving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to go down there. So sometimes on Sunday I hire out and have a little couple of hours and just dance around.
Yeah.
Get some fluff on the wheels of steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really, I was thinking about that today, like diving, you don't have headphones in or music or anything, and it's, would that be beneficial for some people to have music on underwater?
Do you remember
Well,
we spoke to John Chatterton and he was listening to Led Zeppelin when he went to see the Titanic?
Yeah.
In the sub. Amazing.
So apparently you can actually get these waterproof headphones, and some people when they're doing tech dives will tie it to the shot line on the way down about 6 meters. So then when they come up to do their deco stop at 6 meters, they put the headphones in and listen to the music while they're doing the deco.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I think Jill Hyneth said she was reading books
Yeah.
in her deco.
Lee Bishop, I'm sure, another one, said to us about, wasn't he doing something with a Game Boy or something? Was it Lee Bishop?
Yeah, so you've got to keep occupied on these long deco stops.
Yeah.
No, that's really good. So another thing that we ask all our guests, if you could have a billboard that you could put out to the whole planet, the whole world, what would you put on your billboard? So it could be writing, it could be a video, it could be an image. What would you put on it and why?
I'd probably put I'll probably just say, like, live your life a quarter mile at a time. Like, you never know what's going to happen in the future, so
Live your life.
always live your life to the best.
Yeah, live in the moment.
Yeah, that's the one there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good.
Carpe diem, seize the day.
Seize the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And and it's true, isn't it? Because you just think you can't keep thinking, oh, I'll do that in next month, or I'll do that next year. It's just better if you can, I know obviously we've all got constraints with time and money. If you can. But it's good to have.
It's hard, but it's got to be. Sorry?
It's good that you've moved on with your diving. You haven't got too settled into one place. You've progressed and you've done your twin sets, gone from then on to side mount, now on rebreather, and looking at cave diving and all that. It's good that you're keeping that momentum going.
Yeah, it's all basically for that goal of being a cave diver and being able to dive caves, and that's the goal. That is the goal at the end of the tunnel.
So going back to Lanzarote, when you did your tri dive and your open water, did you ever think you'd be where you are now?
No, not to be honest. I don't think I ever really planned on taking it any further than that until I got back to the UK and was just like, actually, I really enjoyed diving. I wanted to see what it was like. And then I saw Crystal Seas in Norwich, and I thought, well, where do people dive in Norwich? And then obviously speaking to Polly and realised it's Stony Cove, good old Stony Cove.
Yeah. And then we got our coast, but when the coast dive,
the coast dives,
is in season, and we are lucky. We do have good diving really within a decent drive to make where you can get a good day's diving in. So we are lucky this part of the country. Yeah,
just make the most of what we've got nearby. Had to do that in recent years, so that's all good. So if people want to find out a bit more about you, Matt, have you got any social media sites where they can tap into or ask you any questions?
I've got Instagram and Facebook. I've got a YouTube channel, but I don't really use it that often, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the YouTube channel is called Scuba Life.
Okay.
I'll send you all the links to it and everything.
Yeah. So
What's
if
your
any-
Instagram?
Instagram is I don't know off by heart. I think it's Matt Scuba 2412, I think.
So if anybody's listening and they've got some questions about moving, maybe from open circuit to side mount, drop you a DM on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah, I'll do my best to help. I don't know.
Well, you've lived it and breathed it, so it's good that you've got that advice and you've got that experience as well for anybody that is thinking about it or on their journey as well. They can then maybe share some.
Well, it's good because yes, it's always good to get your instructor's point of view or the instructor of the course that you're looking to learn from. But it's also good to get to, if you know a particular student who's just been through training, is to actually get their view, their feed as well, because like they might have something else to say. You don't know till you ask. So it's worth bearing that in mind.
No, that's really good. Yeah. So hopefully, people will listen to this and think maybe they want to it literally maybe try side mount if it's easier than carrying a twin set or
I highly recommend side mount to everyone. It's so much better. Honestly, so much, you feel so much more comfy in the water. You've got all that extra redundancy. You got no real stress of like carrying your carrying cylinders down to the water and putting them on in the water is fine, and it's just so much easier.
It looks easier, definitely.
It is.
And having dived with you once, and you look just amazing in the water. You're just like horizontal. It's just like you
done brilliantly that day. You looked amazing in the water as well.
I don't know about that, but
you're perfect with your hands in front of your face, in front of your not face, hands in front of you. Perfect, right next to me.
Well,
perfect buddy.
Well, we'll have another dive at some point. So
that's a good dive.
Good old Stony Cove. So it's a good place to go. And for anybody that's listening, if they in the UK, Stony Cove is one of the sort of good sites to go to, good facilities, friendly people. And you always see like familiar faces.
You do, which is what diving's all about, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's the community and the catching up with good friends as well.
And at the weekend you were at Stony Cove and Crystal Seas were there doing their courses, and it's just really great to see that all shared over social media as well. No, really good, Matt. Thank you very much for coming on the podcast and giving your point of view on diving.
Thank you very much, Matt, for coming on. It's been excellent. Good catch up with you.
It's been good.
Your first podcast?
Yeah, can you tell?
That was good, wasn't it? What do you think? Yeah, Matt is he's quietly spoken, and but Matt is, I remember, like I said right early on, I remember Matt coming along quite early on in my diving career. I can't remember where I was. I must have been like advanced or maybe just starting out on the DMT side of things. I've dived with Matt quite a few times, and we've been buddies, and you always feel rest assured, that he's there. So, which is really good. And should make it hopefully an interesting episode that people can relate to. Starting as an open water diver, and basically just kept progressing and moving on. Didn't go down the instructor route, dive master instructor route, but went more the technical side. And that's the route a lot of people go to.
And it's really good for a new diver or anybody who's not a diver listening to see that you can just do a try dive and then your world is opened up and you want to do more.
Yeah, it is. And the options are out there, for anyone who loves diving, and that's pretty clear with Matt, isn't it? That he does. And you know, you never know where it's going to take you with diving. And you know, look, he's been at one end of the country to the other end of the country, you know, and Red Sea, you know, different parts of the Med, and thinking about, you know, going further afield. And it's not always a quick way, a quick path, but you know, it's a safe path.
Yeah,
taking your time.
Yeah, and that's exactly, Matt hasn't like rushed into different things, has he? He's gone in, you know, from his open circuit to his side mount or twin set to side mount. He's done, you know, and tried things, hasn't he? And to find where, his kind of passion and
I think a lot of people will relate to that, you know, because you know, if you're on single tank, that's one way, you know, within an open circuit. And a lot of the natural progression is to try a twin set. And that can put people off because there is the weight issue. You know, not everyone goes to the gym. And, you know, you get 2 set of 12, so you can have less. And it's a fair old lump to have on your back, you know, and, you know, walking to it where you go into. Obviously, you can do it another way. A lot of people have trolleys.
Yeah.
Put them on in the water. And I think a side mount would be something I would try at some stage, because it does look freer, doesn't it?
It does, good. Yeah. I always remember when we dived with Matt, or you and he dived in the river, and that was the first time I'd seen a setup like that, and I'm thinking,
in 2 meters water.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, what's he doing? It's just, but it did look, you know, it just looks very comfortable.
Yeah, and you wasn't a diver then, were you?
No, and so I was observing, you know, you two.
That was our first dive after the lockdown, the first lockdown period.
Because I think we couldn't go anywhere still. We couldn't travel. And that was the only option. That was
the first time of jumping in somewhere.
Yeah. So, no, it was really good. So he's had quite a, sort of journey so far, and he's got so much more ahead of him, which is great.
Oh, God, yeah. The journey's just started, you know, and it's really nice hearing him talk about Emily up at Scabba and the great work she does, and her famous hot chocolates, which we've heard. I was trying to think when I was talking to Matt, somebody else has mentioned
they have,
her hot chocolate. So they obviously
and cake. I think cake was mentioned as well.
So that's really cool. Although we got a word with the captains up at the farms and our good friend Ben Bigley, because I don't remember there being cake. Although saying that there was chocolate.
Yeah, there was chocolate in Liberty, wasn't there? Yes.
Well, maybe Ben's good at baking a cake.
We'll have to ask him next time.
Divers.
Yeah, do you rustle up a lemon drizzle cake, Ben?
Yeah. But no, that's really good. And that's really good to have Matt on. You know, he's not one of the big name divers. You know, people will know him. You know, a lot of the people who share a lot and doing stuff for diving companies and that. So it's really good that the everyday diver will be able to relate to someone like Matt.
Yeah, and I think that's probably one of the only guests we can say we've both dived with.
Yes. Yeah, which is really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, really nice.
So all good. And we ought to say thanks to Matt for coming on and giving us some of his time.
Yeah, and we'll have him back when he's done some more of his adventures. And
definitely. So we'll hopefully have a dive with him in December.
Definitely.
Should be cool. Right. Okay, that kind of round things up. Before we go, should we just remind everybody to don't forget to leave us a review? We say this every week, you know, like a broken record.
That's just what I was going to say. Yes, but if you're listening on Apple or iTunes, then please leave us a review.
Yeah, 5-star review to say thank you very much. That'd be really cool. Don't forget, go on our website. We've got offers on there if you're looking for a flask for the winter. If you're thinking about buying a new diving watch, there's all these things on there. So go there, go to the bigscuba.com. Or if you're looking for a t-shirt or hoodie, something like that, there's something on there for everyone. Christmas is coming.
Yes, yeah, even books we've got in our Amazon bookstore, so that's
Yeah.
another one. Yeah, so yeah, you don't have to spend much, just buy a book and give it to your diving friend.
Yeah, well, a lot of our guests have written books, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, so or they've had
So-
some input into a book, and yeah, it's a great gift for Christmas.
It is. So go there, have a look, see what we got in the old BiG Scuba library.
Yeah.
But I think that was it. I think, don't you?
Yeah, that's another episode. Thank you for listening, and thank you for downloading.
And for right now, that was the BiG Scuba.
Podcast.
See you next time. Now that does wrap up today's episode of the BiG Scuba Podcast. But if you want to hear more from the podcast, make sure you hit that subscribe or follow button depending on what platform you are listening on. That way you will never miss an episode from us. But if you are listening on Apple Podcasts and did enjoy what you heard today, we would really appreciate it if you head to the show page to leave a 5-star rating and review. It really does help us. If you do, please take a screenshot of that review and send it to us on Instagram, and we'll give you a shout out to say a big thank you. If you have any questions for us or anything that has been mentioned in today's episode, be sure to reach out to us on any of our social media platforms or send us an email. The links are in the show notes. We will get back to you no matter what. If you have made it to this point in the episode, we both want to say a big thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.